game has ended. A hard-fought, violent, incredibly fast contest. So fast, in fact, that no one man can watch all the action at one time. But for our story, it is the beginning. To examine, analyze, and take a closer look at a sport where the players travel at a speed of 35 miles an hour, and the puck travels at 100 miles an hour. This is Frank Sweeney, your host on Midwest Sports Special. We're going to visit one of the most exciting teams in professional hockey, the Chicago Blackhawks. We will take you inside the world of hockey. This is where it starts. Practice session the day before a game. Right now you see the Hawks limbering up, doing whatever their coach Billy Ray wants them to do. But the making of a hockey team really begins with the man who raises, supervises, or through trades, acquires the personnel necessary for a Major League Hockey team. The general manager, Tommy Ivan.
Well, as a manager, or general manager, Frank, why, my duties are the personnel, not only of our own club, that is the Blackhawks, but the farm system, which consists of 12 hockey clubs. We have approximately 482 hockey players in our system, and my duties are to keep track of them all and see how they're advancing, how they're progressing, and particularly make sure that they're ready for the Blackhawks. Now, there's a small percentage get to the Blackhawks naturally, but that's my duties.
What do you look for in a hockey player, that makes you think he'll be a major leaguer?
Well, I can pretty well tell you, I know what I look for, and plus what the scouts look for. When they first see a player, they look naturally at his skating ability, whether he can stick handle, whether he can shoot a puck. I mean, there's many things, but as far as I'm concerned, when I look for a player in the minor system, is that I look at his size. He's got to be able to skate. When I say skate, I mean skate fast. We call a player sometimes a bad skater, but that doesn't mean to say he can't skate. He can skate, but he's just not fast enough. So he's got to be a good skater. He's got to be able to handle a puck. In other words, manipulate the puck with his stick, that is stick handling, and shoot the puck. And last but not least, he's got to be aggressive and a lot of desire.
Unlike football and baseball, with their retinue of coaching specialists, hockey has only one coach. One man who must mold individual brilliance into a winning team. In the case of the Blackhawks, it is 28-year veteran player and coach, Billy Ray. Coach, what do you look for in a hockey player other than just the ability to skate and skate fast?
Well, you do, Frank, you look for overall speed. You hope that your players that you get on the club have the overall speed to keep up with the speed of the game. But what you look for is, can a fellow stop and start? Can he start from a standing stop? So many times a break is there for him to take it, and if he can't do this, why, the opportunity isn't there. I don't believe anybody can be a good loser. I mean, there has to be something wrong with your makeup if you're a good loser. I think that probably 3 or 4 hours after the game, while you're cooled out and you look at things a little differently, but I don't think you can be a good loser.
Coach, probably the average fan is most confused about what constitutes an offside. Can you show us with your fellows out there an offside play?
Yeah, we'll show you an offside at the blue line with Esposito and Mackey and McKenzie, and I believe that McKenzie will go offside at the blue line. Now, they'll demonstrate this right now.
Both skates have to be across that line?
Yes, you can see, you will notice quite often the players will straddle that blue line, and that play is all right. Now you're seeing McKenzie preceded that play across the blue line. That is an offside. Offside means that his skates have got to be over the blue line. His stick or the puck, it doesn't matter. I mean, as long as his skates were on the blue line or on the offensive side of the blue line, the play would not be offside. It's his skates that designate this.
So at that point, action would be stopped and we'd have a face-off.
Yes, you'd have a face-off outside the blue line on the spot there.
Coach, when we watch a face-off from the crowd, it looks like these fellows are just lining up anywhere, but is there a pattern established? Each man have a job?
Oh, very, very definitely. This year, they've eliminated all bodily contact between the two men facing off. They were trying to make the face-off an art rather than a wrestling match. This is one of the most important plays that there are in hockey, is the face-off, both defensively and offensively. Each man out here has got a job to do, and if he doesn't do it, either the puck will be in your net or maybe the opposition will have a breakaway at the other end, to the other end.
I wonder if we could have the fellows go through a face-off, and we'll try to watch the men as they go.
Yes, we'll have Eric Nestorenko drop the puck, and we'll have face-off between Stanfield and Esposito. And Esposito is the guy. We want him to get the draw.
Esposito's the man in the white jersey.
That's right. All right, let's go. That is the play that we want to happen right there, but it doesn't always happen.
Coach, one of the things I like to watch is a good stick man out there. You suppose they could give us a demonstration of some stick handling?
Yeah, I think we have 2 or 3 of the finest stick handlers in the league, and we have one out here now, Makita, who will give a little demonstration of stick handling with Nestorenko and Hay and McNeil and Pilat trying to check him. Here he is now. He's got the puck. For a fellow to be able to stick handle, he has to be very maneuverable on his skates, and besides being able to work the puck. You can see the way Makita can turn either way. He can, I believe he can even change hands if he has to. Gets out of the road of body checkers well. I'd say he is one of the shiftiest players in the National Hockey League.
Sure gave a good demonstration there, I know. Coach, do a lot of the players have a different style or a different system of stick handling?
Oh, yes. One player has probably a little more finesse than the other, and I think that we can both demonstrate this best by having Bobby Hull, who will show you the power. I mean, this guy is powerful. He can brush anybody aside, and with his speed, he is just tough to handle. I mean, Bobby will go through this now.
All right, fine.
Bob!
This is a bit faster, man. Coach, right now we'd like to take a look at maybe a different type of a play that you would utilize in a game.
Yes, we'll demonstrate now a 2-on-1 break where the fellow carrying the puck, in this case it'll either be Bobby Hull or Bill Hay, with Elmer Vasco acting as the opposition defenseman. Whoever is carrying the puck, the idea is that he will go away from his teammate. Like if Bill Hay is carrying the puck, he won't cut towards Bobby's side. He'll cut away and try and draw the defenseman with him. In this case, Bill Hay has got the puck now. You'll see he'll draw over to the right and try and draw Elmer with him, and there's Bobby passing to Bobby. Bobby hits the post, which we were doing last night very well, Frank.
Do you have any preference, or do the players themselves have any preference which foot they shoot?
Oh, normally a left-hand shot will shoot off his left leg, and the same with a right-hander. I mean, he'll shoot off his right leg. There they go through the play again where Bobby was carrying the puck, and he tries to draw the defenseman with him. If the defenseman doesn't come with him, why, he'll go around himself.
Another thing I'm curious about, Coach, is a breakaway, when one guy really gets loose out there.
This is the play that you're always looking for and hoping will happen, that you'll be able to catch the opposition defenseman up inside your blue line and get a breakaway on the goalkeeper. We'll demonstrate this with Esposito and one of our defensemen, Matt Ravlich, out there. There's Esposito beating Ravlich and breaking in on Glenn, and you'll notice the goalkeeper comes out to cut off the angle, but Esposito in this particular play faked him that he was going to shoot the puck and drew it around him and slipped it in the net. I wish that play would happen just like that in the game, Frank, but we're not always that fortunate.
When it gets down there, it's strictly that one man coming in the puck against the goalie.
That's right. It's pretty well man on man now. You'll see Glenn is out again. Speaking of Glenn Hall, I would have to say that Glenn is probably the best goalkeeper in hockey at stopping a man-on-man.
He's like a cat out there.
Yes, he's very, very fast. He moves out and then moves back. You'll notice he comes out now. Now you see him edging back a little bit.
There's the deception I was talking about.
Yeah, Esposito is a pretty smart fellow with the puck.
Coach, we've been concentrating pretty well now on the offense part of hockey. I wonder if we could delve a little into the defensive unit.
Yes, actually, this is the part that we like to delve into, too, Frank. The key to any team's success is defense. If you have a good defense, if you have a good goals against record, why, your club will invariably finish high up in the race. And we'll just have a little demonstration now of Johnny Brenneman and Freddie Stanfield coming down against Vasco and Ravlich. A two-man break against a two-man defense. And what the defensemen are supposed to do is take a man apiece. We'll just see whether they do it or not.
Is there anything special we might watch for here in the way of their skating backwards or any little tricks that the defense man might use?
Well, of course, the defensemen have got to be able to skate backwards just about as fast as they can skate forwards, and they've got to be able to turn either to the right or to the left from skating from a backward skate. This is the key to whether you're a good defenseman or a poor defenseman. All right, Freddie. See, there you have Vasco taking the man with the puck out and Ravlich covering the other free man. At any time, you expect to have one back checker on a forward line, so usually it is a man-against-man defense play that you have coming up.
Now, in a situation there where he got him up against the boards, your hope would be that one of your offensive men would come in there and get that puck. Yes,
your forwards that are coming back a little late of the play are expected to come in there and pick up the puck and get it out of your own end as fast as they can.
The defenseman's job is a pretty definite thing, Billy. What are some of the maneuvers that he can do legally to assist the team?
The defenseman's job is one of the key jobs on the hockey club, Frank, I think a defenseman who is strong and tough and can carry the puck, I mean, they're just hard to come by, and his job is to take out the opposition forwards and take them out legally, but take them out with a little authority. This is what we're trying to put over all the time, and we'll have a little demonstration now with Makita coming down against Vasco, and Vasco taking Makita out legally against the boards.
Fine, can we watch that?
All right, Stan.
That was legal.
That's a legal check.
Of course, in a game, he might do it a little rougher, a little more concentrated.
Yes, he might finish it off just a little bit stronger at the end. He might be demonstrating a body. No, this is the same thing. That's a legal check. You like to see him leave those forwards draped on the boards if you possibly can, Frank. I mean, you're not trying to hurt anybody, but you're trying to make it tough inside your own blue line.
Well, it's a contact sport, so they've everything within the law.
Now they'll demonstrate a body check with Vasco body checking Makita. There. Actually...
Having a little fun with us, too, huh?
Vasco is supposed to take Makita out. Now Makita jump on Vasco. But they'll run through that again, and I'm sure that Vasco will get his hip into the man a little better than he did then. He's trying to get him with his hip here. There. That's the way he's trying to get him.
Pretty much like a football block.
Yes.
Because the game is so fast, Bill, sometimes we miss penalties, what they might be called on. Can we see some demonstration of what illegal things there are in the game?
Yeah, we'll demonstrate here with Nestorenko carrying the puck against Wayne Hillman, and they'll show high sticking, hooking, elbowing, and cross-checking. They'll all be tied into the same thing here, but as we go through the demonstration, you'll be able to see what we're trying to get at and what we're trying to show you.
Fine.
All right, Eric. There's Nestorenko carrying the puck now. He's trying to beat Hillman, and they both come up with their sticks in a cross-check. Hillman's is a cross-check, and because he's the defensive man, and Nestorenko, it's high-sticking because he's the offensive man. The hooking and the elbowing. Or Wayne is going to hook Nestorenko now, and then he throws his elbow.
Now, each of those penalties would probably bring 2-minute penalty?
Yes, they are 2-minute penalties. A 5-minute penalty you only get for drawing blood or intent to injure or a real major, like a spearing or something like that.
Got a little too realistic with our demonstration.
You just can't imagine how disturbed they get when we go into a losing streak, and the pressure mounts on these fellows, and it disturbs them mentally. They can't sleep properly at night, and I played a number of years myself, and I know that when things weren't going right, why our whole home life was disturbed. It's surprising, just as soon as you win a couple of games, why you just feel the whole club is lifted and the spirit is there. And
there isn't much you can do about it. Sure, you can think about what happened and what we might have done to win the game, but as far as carrying the games home into your personal life, hockey, it takes enough of your time, and I think that after the game is over, okay, it's over, and you have enough time after the game before we get home off the road to think about it.
Behind every hockey player, of course, there's a pretty good family, and right now we're with the portion of the Bobby Hull family. This is Bobby, and I got a hold of Blake here. No, this is Bobby.
That's Blake. No, this is Bobby.
Here's Bobby, and here's Blake. And this is Joanne and Bobby Hull. Now, you got a real good family here. There had to be a beginning someplace. How did you two happen to meet?
Skating.
Skating?
Yes.
You want to tell me about that?
Well, I was skating one day, and a mutual friend introduced us, and I never dated anyone else. We were married and started our family then.
Bobby kind of saw you rather than you seeing him, I understand.
Yeah,
It's not quite true, Frank. She was out here skating right here on the rink, and she was down at this end, and Big Mouth me happened to be up at the other end, and I happened to see the skate guards sitting on the seat down at the other end, and I called her from the other end. She brazenly came up, and we started a relationship.
Would you be happy if these fellows grew up to be hockey players?
And if they're good enough to play in the National Hockey League, I wouldn't mind them playing. But as far as being a hockey bum playing in some of the minor leagues just for peanuts, no, I don't think. She's a better skater than I am.
Oh, you bet.
I just got her confused. Sometimes when she gets running off the mouth, I tell her, okay, you go down, put the equipment on.
I tell him to stay home and take care of our 3 children.
Would you like him to do a little bit of
I think he'd come back and skate.
I'll watch the kids if you and Joanne will go out there and maybe...
I can't keep up with him.
Skating on one leg and see if he can do it with you.
Let her go ahead and perform.
No.
I think I can do it. I think she can.
Okay, you guys are having fun here.
You're on.
Okay, just don't fall out. They're coming right out.
Yeah.
There we go.
What was that one she did?
Right leg up, Charlie.
Backwards. It's all done with the hands.
We're with Stan Makita, centerman with the Hawks. Stan, I'm not the greatest skater in the world, far from it, but I've got a different kind of a skate than you. I wonder if I could try to get across here and see what you got. I'll never make it. I'll walk around. Now, I've got what we call a figure skate, I guess.
Right. Ours are the tube skates. I think the blade on them is a little bit thinner than on yours. Although it's much higher from the ice, we have maybe an inch or maybe 3/4 of an inch when we get the skates, and then when our trainer cuts them down, sharpens them, then they get a little smaller.
Now, I've got ankle supports and lace tight and everything else in there,
Right.
but
Well, I have these ankle guards on right now. Our skates come up over our ankles also, but not quite as high as yours. We have a few fellas that are, some we call head hunters, the others we call ankle hunters. This is for the ankle hunters.
to keep the other blades from cutting you up.
Well, no, this is mainly a guard against the puck.
I
When
see.
some of the boys are shooting them. Guys like Bobby Hall and Chico Mackey and Pierre Palat, you know.
Speaking of that puck, now, it's pretty hard to begin with, but then they freeze it before the game, don't they?
That's right, they do.
Like, we got
Well,
one
that's
here.
to keep it from bouncing. You notice this isn't frozen. This thing will bounce.
Freezing it takes the bounce out of it?
Right, it's supposed to.
Is that pretty hard to handle when if it's a fresh puck?
If it's not frozen?
Yeah.
It sure is.
Now, you have a stick there. Some of them are listed, I noticed, left and some right. What is...
Right. Well, mine is an unorthodox stick. Bobby Hall and I use the curved blade.
Can we take a look at that?
I think some of the other boys do.
Back up a little bit there.
I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, why do you have it curved like that?
Well, I think I can handle the puck a little better with it than the normal stick.
John McKenzie, you're doing a little carpenter work. What are you doing there, John?
I'm just taking a little bit off the toe to make the lie a little different, so that I'll be standing up a little straighter when I carry the puck.
And you want that so that it's flat on the ice? Is that the idea?
This is flat, but I want to change the level from like this to like this, you see.
Why don't you have someone else do it? You just like to do it yourself to get it to your...
Yeah, everybody does their own. They know how it feels. And
Now, you don't use the curved stick, I noticed, but there is a little bit of a curve to that stick. Why is that?
Well, I just have a slight curve to help me carry the puck a little more, and I don't think it doesn't help me shoot any, but just the main thing is to carry the puck a little better. Now this tape is just to stop it from cracking up the blade, and makes it last a little longer. After all the work on it.
What makes the stick break? The ice, the dampness, the puck against it? Just
Yeah,
what?
well, you slap the puck pretty hard and comes in contact with the ice and the puck about the same time, and that's pretty hard on it. This is a knob just so you have a better hold of your stick. It doesn't keep slipping off your top hand.
Now with Pierre Palat, the captain of the Blackhawks. You're a defenseman with the Hawks, Pierre. Who determines what position you're going to play?
Well, actually, a defenseman has to have, he doesn't have to be the fastest skater from one end of the rink to the other. I think our greatest asset is to move real quick within a range, say, of 10 feet. You have to have an awful lot of good pickup, shall we say, within 10 feet. I think all the defensemen, bar none, I think they can, within 10 feet, nobody's going to beat them, like we're quarter horses, shall we say.
Yeah.
And there's different situations. Maybe one-on-one, you see, one forward coming down on you. Well, the idea is that even if he beats you to a certain degree, he has to still beat the goaltender. So you make sure that you don't play the puck. The goaltender will play the puck, and you look at the body, and you just make sure that he doesn't shift you and has a good shot on the net. And the idea is just look at him. Sometimes look at their hips, sometimes look at their eyes, depend who the player is, you see. And just more or less stare at him, because they're trying to give you different feint and shift and everything else, and if you have him to look at these, you'll go for it, and then he goes the other way.
Gives the lines a chance to get their timing down. There's some new fellows now playing together, and this way they get their timing down. They know this simulates a regular game action, so they know just about what each other is going to do.
I'm Elmer Vasco. Play left defense. The toughest thing I find is to try to stop the opposition. I try to make the players come down towards the boards if I can, you know. I mean, this is where I find I can take them out a lot easier, I mean, if I get them on the boards. Whereas if you try to stop a fellow out in the middle of the ice, it's a lot tougher out there. I mean, you don't have anything to push the fellow out, too, you know what I mean? If you got the boards, you can, I mean, like it acts like another man, actually. I'm 6'3", and I'm weigh about right now about 218 1/4. I think I am about the heaviest and the tallest. There are a couple other fellas about 6'3" in the league. Doug Robinson, which is a rookie that just come up from Buffalo last year, I think he's around 6'3". Jean Beliveau from Montreal is also 6'3". I think we are about the tallest in the National Hockey League.
The average size of a hockey player, I'd say, is around 5'10". The weight is around 170 pounds. Well, 170 pounds don't sound as if he's too heavy. He's probably a lightweight compared to football. But you must remember, we know it's a bodily contact sport, but you must remember there's a lot of speed connected with it, too. And if a player, regardless, I mean, if he is small and he's able to manipulate with his speed and his stick handling and his deception, he can get around the body checks.
Once that whistle blows to start the game, I mean, you have no friends out there on the ice, and yet when the game is over, I mean, you talk to the same fellow that probably you were cutting his head off. This is the great thing about the sport. I mean, animosity is not carried over.
It's a rough sport compared to a lot of other bodily contact sports. I don't know if it's any rougher. I mean, I think there's a lot of bodily contact in football. Funny thing about it is that our players don't think the game is as rough as football, and the football players don't think their game is as rough as hockey.
Well, I've been kind of fortunate not having any serious injury. You talk to hockey players, and a serious injury is something that has something to do with internal or your head inside, you know. We have a lot of injuries, cuts, bruises. We don't really consider that serious. I've had a lot of stitches in my head, probably a couple hundred.
Well, I've had a broken ankle, sprained ankle, a few broken toes, a couple of sprained wrists, broken shoulders, broken hands. Let's see, what else? Broken nose, broken head, like Plot says. Charlie horses, stitches, cuts, bruises, you name it. Over the last 6 years, I think I've had more than 100 stitches all over my body.
Yes, I never had a stitch in my face before I come up here, and last year I got 5 over this eye and got 4 in the mouth, and then I got 5 over this eye the second game at home. I think it was against New York. I got a puck in the eye, and it's just, you can see it's just healing up now.
And this is Nick Guerin, the trainer of the Chicago Blackhawks. Suppose an accident occurs during the game itself, what will be your next move?
Well, the first thing we do is observe the injury. If it's on the bench, you see the cut, laceration, whatever it is, and you send the player down. And I'm usually down just as fast as he is, either going around the bench or come right down across the ice. And then we work on the person right on our rubbing tables.
Suppose he has a cut on his head, let's say. What do you do then?
Well, we get him down immediately, and if it's not too serious, then we take care of our work right here. The player would lie down on the table, we'll clean the wound out and put a few sutures in, and back they go to play.
Doesn't this bother him to...
No, you'd be surprised that the numbness occurs immediately, and for about 20 minutes there's no sensation involved in those areas that are cut. And by stitching a person, you prevent 2 things: the pain, for the simple reason the area is numb, and secondly, you prevent hemorrhaging, because you can repair that area immediately and put pressure on, and back they go.
It's a tendon spot right there. I'm addressed beforehand.
This one I want to put on. But this one I want to keep so she doesn't swell up. Good as new.
Here's my glass. I'll leave it.
Boy, Wayne. Serious. So good about it. On the night of a game, the first stop the players make when they arrive at the Chicago Stadium, of course, is the dressing room. Pretty nice quarters that they have here, and this is where they spend the first few minutes before they go up on the ice. Now, if you've ever seen the game of hockey, you know it's a fast game. You know that there are a lot of injuries in it. There could be a lot more, but these fellows, of course, wear a protective garment that covers them and protects them against the serious injuries. I wonder right now if we couldn't go over and watch and talk to one of these guys as they prepare to suit up to go up for the game. This is Bill Hay, a fine centerman with the Hawks. Bill, if you don't mind, you just go right ahead with your dressing there, and maybe once in a while I'll ask you about some of the equipment you're putting on. Of course, I know that's the outer stocking that you're starting with right there.
Yes, it is, Frank. Anything you don't understand or can't figure out, you can ask me. And if I don't know it, I'll ask another Westerner because they seem to know. Most of the guys start out with an underwear and then a can or out of protector. And then they go put a garter belt on to hold the stockings that full of pads on your leg. The fencemen usually put more bubbles or cotton underneath the pads because they seem to be falling down a little more.
Now, you don't strap the shin guard on there, you just let the sock hold it up,
No, we use white tape, stocking tape like that. I'll do that after I get the garter belt.
I can have the commission.
What's that, a Natty Flyer uniform?
Pretty solid, huh? Now, the pants themselves are padded too, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They have Charlie horse pads here, and then a pad on the side, and then quite a bit of padding on the behind. Lots of padding around the ribs.
Shoulder pads pretty much like football players?
No, they're not nearly quite as heavy because of you're not using your shoulder as much as a football player is. And these are the elbow pads, which run right in, as you can see, to the shoulder pads.
This is pretty hard, too? No, that's a little bit softer material, isn't it?
Yes, that's softer, but it's pretty thick. Now, this cotton batten is, most pathologists, but almost always either use cotton batten or sponge, which they just tuck inside the top of their skates so that the lace, as they tie it up, won't cut into the top of their foot, and also to protect the instep from shots at the top.
Now that you're all completely suited up, I wonder if you'd stand up so we can take a good look and show that you are protected from the toe right up to the face. It seems to me there's always a little tussle or sometimes a full-grown fight in a hockey game. What do you suppose causes that? Just everybody's keyed up for a game?
Well, it's a body contact sport, and the temperatures are bound to flare, but nothing really develops too much over the place.
I've often seen a hockey fight. Everybody throws their gloves down. What's the purpose in that?
Well, so that you can maybe pick up a better pair when the fight's over.
Thanks a lot. Well, you're all set to sail, Bill. Thanks so much for talking with us, and lots of good luck.
Thank you.
This is the Blackhawk Standby Club. It's a group of fans that got together in Chicago a long time ago, and they're hockey boosters. They're all hockey fans. My name is Larry Chartrand. I'm the president of the club.
My name's Elaine Urick, and I'm the secretary. And when the club was originally founded, we started with all second balcony fans. But through the years, a lot of our members have gotten older, and some of us can't make it to the second balcony anymore. So now they let anyone in the rink join that wants to join.
Well, usually we will delegate one or two people to take care of each sign. We take them, we hang them up on the balcony. Right here is where the club sign usually sits. This sign, I don't know how long it's been up here, ever since I've been going to hockey games anyway, and that's been quite a while. And then we have various signs for various events. Every team that we play, we have a different sign against them and for the Hawks.
Several of us in the club, in fact, most of us do a great deal of traveling. We go to Detroit, we've been to Toronto, we've been to New York, we've been to Boston. We've got another trip going up with my dear favorites in Toronto Saturday. That's where I get in trouble. The last time we were up there, we brought a big Blackhawk sign. We went to hang it, and this woman behind started giving me trouble right off the bat. She starts out with, "What the hell you got there?" So I told her we had a Blackhawk sign, we were going to string it. She says, "That I would like to spit on." I said, "Well, you'll just spit on it once and you'll never spit again." So all through the session of the game, we had fun back and forth and ended up friends afterwards.
Well, we stand by the Hawks whether they're up or down. It doesn't make any difference. You can ask any members of the club. They've been in this club a long time and they haven't let them down yet. One of our oldest members has been going somewhat around 25 years. The hockey games hasn't missed one yet. As even the players themselves will tell you that the home rink will usually mean a goal or two to the home club. So therefore, I think we're actually playing the game along with them.
Well, my name is Ma Ellerman. I'm 72 years old. Hockey's the greatest thing in the world, especially the Blackhawks. We follow them along. New players are going good, but I've got a lot to learn. I wouldn't miss a game for anything. 6 and 25 years, I've been at them all. Crippled, legs broken, arm broken, but I still got here. They've been nice to me down here. I enjoy it. I wouldn't miss it all. I'm supposed to be the big chief of the gang. Biggest mouth, I guess. Biggest noise and most guts. They laughed at me because I wore it all through the game last night. But I have fun. I can always be the clown for the rest. It don't bother me. I've always been that way. Wherever there's a good time, I'm in the middle. I don't like to see anybody get hurt, really. Of course, like I holler a lot of times, sock them, jump on them, break their neck. But I mean, if it really were to happen, it would hurt me. I don't like to see anybody. And this high sticking that they've gotten the last couple of years, that should never be. I can see the fist fighting. I'd like to get in there myself. The only thing keeps me off the ice, I think, is the glass. I tell you, sometimes I get mad enough to get right down there.
In order to accurately perform the inside of hockey, of course, we've got to speak with everybody that's so concerned with it. We've covered players. Now let's talk to the men who run the game. This is Vern Buffy, a referee in the league, George Hayes, a linesman, and John D'Amico, a linesman. We're going to find out a little bit about what their job entails and exactly how they feel about it. Vern, you know, I guess it's the fans' right to criticize the umpire. Nobody likes the umpire. What's your personal reaction to this from the fans?
Well, Frank, being a referee, you're not out there trying to win any friends or influence anyone. It's a tough job. But the fans pay the money to yell and do what they want. We don't mind. This is part of the game. And the only thing that you don't like is, of course, if a fan grabs you along the boards or something like this, and then, of course, you have the right to have him moved. But all the yelling in the world doesn't bother me.
Doesn't bother you a bit?
It's part of the game.
Oh, the referees, we haven't got any. Those games are terrible. The refereeing is out of this world. If they ever had a good ref, I'm thinking about practicing myself and getting in there. I'm telling you, there isn't one of them left that's any good. I'll probably lose my head on this one.
Well, I'll have to say this. If you're talking about bad calls, no. I don't think I've ever made a bad call. It's a game of judgment. But there are calls that look bad because you may have only caught the retaliation and you didn't see the first foul. So naturally, it looks like a bad call.
After all, if they give a bum call, everybody's going to be on their back. Why shouldn't they? The hooking half of it they don't see. Few of those fellas can get by with everything. Others can't do anything. They keep their eye on them and get them for nothing. It's a great world, believe me.
Well, any good fan doesn't think it's fair against his own team. I mean, this is just being a rabid fan.
We think we have the greatest fans in the world here in Chicago. When they finish playing that national anthem and they let out that yell and practically lift the roof, why, it's a great thing for the team itself. I mean, it lifts a club. If a player couldn't be lifted by the reaction of the fans here in Chicago, why, there'd be something wrong with him.
So begins another evening of speed, skill, and mayhem for the Chicago Blackhawks. Inside the world of hockey. This is Frank Sweeney from the Chicago Stadium. Be sure to join us next week for another Midwest Sports Special.